Back in those early days when I was talking to service clubs and once while a high school class and college class making those little speeches, I come up with this little speech. I will give you a note on it. It's called four ifs that make life worthwhile. And if you are looking to make a little speech, these notes might serve you well. Here was the first: if life is worthwhile if you learn. You got to know, you got to have the information. When I talk to the kids in school, that's what I say. Get the information while you're here. What you're going to do with this, that's up to you. Throw it all away, that's up to you. Just use a little of it, that's up to you. But while you hurry, get it all right. There's nothing worse than being stupid. Being broke is bad and being stupid is really bad. So, get the information. What's really bad is being broke and stupid. Nothing worse than that unless you're sick. That's what you did. Sick, broken, stupid. That's about as far as you can fall unless you're early, but surely that's a ultimate negative life. Ugly, sick, broken, stupid. That is it. So you got to know, you got to have information. So jot this down. Now, as I use in my notes, what you don't know how will hurt you. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is tragedy. Ignorance is illness. Ignorance is devastation. Ignorance is going broke. Ignorance is creates a poor life. So you got to know, you got to have the information. Number one, learn from your personal experience. One way to learn to do that right is first mess it up and do it wrong. That doesn't mean it's the end of your life, but just, clean up the mess now. Do it right from a negative experience. Sometimes we learn to do the positive things that saves our lives and makes us successful. They say if you survive your first heart attack, if you survive, you may now live to be a very old person. Why is that? That first heart attack were a wake up call, and then maybe the doctor say another one of these in your history, and you say, wow, you're make with for the health food store and you start reading every book you can read on health and nutrition, and you start doing the push-ups and you start jogging on the beach and doing all the stuff, and all of the change now could very well have you live a long life, having been alerted in an alarm system that serves you well. Okay, so learn from your negative as well as your positive experiences. Here's the next. Learn from other people's experiences. That's how you get smarter in a short period of time. Somebody that's been through it for 5 years and they wrote a book, and the book, if you read it, could save you 5 year course, $30. So you can't miss that kind of education. Best to get the information for yes, we can recover, yes, we can come back, from we brave practically. Yes, we can come back from bankruptcy and disaster and poor health. But now, if we had the information upfront at that, we suffer some of those years of disaster, how much better that would be. So, learn from other people's experiences, both narrative and positive. In a seminar, I do for charity. Here's what I say. Too bad founders don't give seminars. We don't want to pay them, so they don't give seminars. But the information would be valuable if a guy messed up his life for 40 years. You tell yourself to say, John, would you spend a day with me? And I will bring my notebook and take good notes. Good looking guy like you, beautiful, family, every reason to do well, and you throw it all away. Take me for a day how you mess it all up, right? And you just take good notes so that the same thing doesn't happen to you. So learn from experience, learn from other experience. If you learn, life is worldwide. Here's the second. If you try, you got to know try something from what you have learned. We'll talk about that now earlier. Take action. You never know. My father said, you never know until you try. If we put the bar up 2 feet and ask the kids to jump over the bar 2 feet high, what will the kids say? Some will say, no, I can't. Some will say, easy. Some will say, what? I don't know. So, how are we going to find out? For everybody, you got to take a run at it and see if you can trump the 2 feet. So, you got to try it to see. Who knows? You don't know. And what if you try to knock the bar down? Does that mean you cannot jump to it? No, you try it what again? Then somebody shows you a little technique, right? Leave the round a little earlier. Okay, first thing you know, to fit easy when before you couldn't or didn't think you could. So you got to try it, giving a speech and doing talks. Age 25, I stand up to give my first little training. My mind sat back down. I open my mouth and nothing comes out. My knees are knocking like this. The sweat is pouring. It's called terror. In case you haven't tried it, right? But I got through it somehow. It was so bad. If I hadn't have been doing the class, I have gone home, right? It was bad. I'm so happy you were not there. You would not have paid this kind of money for my first presentation. Wow. But I got through it and then I did that again. You know, I didn't know if I should even try again, but sure enough, I had a kind of mentor and a kind of teacher who said, hey, that's nothing. You know what? If you go up to bat and you strike out, does that mean it's over? Say, no, it's not over. It starts over for one time of at bat. Then another time and another time, pretty soon you connect. And pretty soon you get good enough to do well. And then pretty soon you get enough to win the game. And then pretty soon you get enough to take home the trophy. So you just keep trying. The third, if that makes life worthwhile, is if you stay, you got to hang in there. Some people plant in the spring and leave in summer when it gets a little hard and a little uncomfortable and it looks like the weeds are growing and it looks like the bugs are having a fuss and you have to tendency to say, hey, I have had it with this. But the key is if you want to harvest in the fall at the harvest time, you've got to stay through the summer, even if the harvest doesn't turn out too bad to be good. And you just see it through and then use that experience to do better planting in the spring come the next turnaround of seasons. So stays in there. If you're going to play the game, you got to stay until it's over. What if the team was you were on a team and you guys were behind and you bet and you say, hey, we're so far behind, we're out of here, and you on work of the courage, right? We would run you out of town probably. We wouldn't on you as the home team. Say I'm behind, I'm behind, so I'm out of there. No, you stand to what? It's over. We're not talking about the lifetime now. We are just talking about this game. If you're in it, stay till it's over. Who are these people who live as spectators before the game is over? Because their team is behind, our team is behind, we're out of there. What if the team say that? Who are these people that work? Push and shove, spill popcorn, and cock down your neck, leaving early. Who are these people? They are the ones that are saying we're going to beat the traffic. Oh, that's one of the greatest skills on earth. Beating the traffic. Leaving your team that's behind the fan of themselves. Goodbye. We're out of here. We're gone. No. If you sign up for the game, you don't have to go to every game. But the one you sign up, you stay, right? You don't have to do everything every time. But when you start, see it through, see the decision through, then you don't have plan anymore if you don't want to. But when you do sign up, go the distance. Go the distance. He's guy who builds the foundation scatter on across the country foundation. I asked a friend of mine. I say, Dream, what are you good at? He say, start and over. That's my specialties, right? Hey, if it doesn't work, I don't stay long. No, come on, see it through. Life is worthwhile if you stay. Hang in there. Next, life is worthwhile if you care. And for my little talk for the service clubs, here's how I word it up. If you care at all, you get some results. If you care enough, you can get extraordinary results. If you just care at all, if you get some, if you really cultivate your character and care enough, you can have such extraordinary returns from productivity activity things you are doing on the way.